Hello everyone and welcome to another Pokemon Trading Card Game live video. My name is Jamie and today I'll be taking you through the first place list that featured at last weekend's regional championships that was in Stuttgart in Germany. But of course, just before we do go into this video, if you do like this type of content and you want to see some more content related to the Pokemon Trading Card Game, then as always be sure to hit that subscribe button and of course like this video. So let's have a look at the deck. So this is Charizard, and which we've seen so many times over the years. I'm saying the years since Scarlet Violet was released. But this is a slightly different concept, different build, and I really like this build. And having just played a couple of games with it and also gone through the deck as well, everything just makes sense. So that's why I thought it'd be a very good deck to have a look at. So Charizard, as we all know, is a Dark Pokemon Stage 2 Terra Pokemon 330 HP, and has this ability here, Infernal Rain, so you can search your deck for Fire Energy, three basic Fire Energy, and attach them to your Pokemon in any way that you like. So, and then of course you shuffle your deck. So its attack here, Burning Darkness, 180, 30 more for every prize card your opponent has taken. So in the later game this becomes very, very strong. Significantly weak to Grass as well. Grass is very popular in the format at the moment. Lots of Grass Pokemon going around, or Grass techs, and a retreat cost of 2. So that is Charizard. Again, it's a Terra Pokemon, and this is the line that they're playing. So it's a 3-1 line there. So 2 Charmander, one with the Agile ability as well, and 1 Charmeleon as well in there as well if you want to. And that is, I guess, predominantly for things like Budu, if you do get Buddy locked. And also there are other reasons why there's also a Stage 1 in there as well, which we will have a look very shortly. But what's a little bit different about this list is that, of course, there is the Pidgeot line there. So this is just a 1-1 line. Yes, just, sorry, a 2-2 line. Sorry, no Pidgeotto in here. So Pidgeot TEF for quick search, just basically to search for any card in your deck and put it into your hand. So very, very strong. There's a 2-2 line there. 2 different types of Pidgey there. So one with a 50 HP and one with a 60 there as well. So the benefits of this one, of course, is you have Cool for Family. So this is your interactive spot. You can also use it and put some Pokemon onto your bench if you are going second. However, this one has 60 HP, so it's a significant difference. So that's why there are 2 of those. And probably the most interesting thing about this is that it has this Noctowl line here as well. So it's a bit more of a Terra build as well. It has this Noctowl in here with Jewel Seeker. So once during your turn when you evolve this Pokemon from its Hoothoot into Noctowl, and you have a Terra Pokemon in play, you can search your deck for 2 training cards and put them into your hand. So training cards are things like support cards, could be things like item cards, tool cards, etc, etc. All of that is in the category of trainer cards, as we'll soon find out. So it's all of this category here, the 27 cards that we're playing here. So yeah, so that is the idea. And of course, other Pokemon that we also include are 2 Terapagos EX as well. So it's a Terra Pokemon, so utilizes, works very, very well with Area 0. And of course, has 230 HP, colorless type, so it can be utilized with Fire Energy. And has its attack here, Unified Beatdown, which is 30 times the amount of Pokemon on your bench, basically. So if we max out our bench, we can do a lot of damage there, especially with Area 0 as well. So really good secondary attacker, and especially if we've not got our Charizards out, we can also just rely on Terapagos since it's a basic Pokemon as well. So that's also very, very good. And of course, if you want to use it as opposed to Charizard, because maybe it's hitting more in the early game, then you can also use Infernal Rain to power it up as well. So makes sense. And yeah, and of course we do need a Terra Pokemon in play to utilize Noctowl as well, so that's the idea behind that. Other Pokemon include 2 Fan Rotom, search for colorless Pokemon, so very, very strong in the early game, especially first turn even, sorry. And this also sets up for things like Area 0, can help you with things like getting your Noctowls out, which gets you your trainer cards. And yeah, just really, really strong. And also you can just max out your bench and try and utilize Unified Beatdown. That's the idea. And if they do hit and put down another stadium card that isn't, for instance, Area 0, or you have to put your bench down to 5, then of course you just get rid of things you don't need. So things, for example, like your Fan Rotoms, things like Noctowls that you've already used, that kind of stuff. So it's not really a big deal. That's the idea. Other Pokemon, we have a 2-1-1 line of Dusknoir, so still very, very strong. So we can hit some numbers with that as well, especially with Charizard there. So 180 plus 130, that's and if they've taken 1 prize card as well, that pretty much knocks out most things, I think, in the format. So Yeah, so that'll be 210 plus 130, 340. That pretty much knocks out everything, I think, in the format as well. And of course, not forgetting that with Curse Blast as well, you also concede a prize card as well. So that also helps to bump up the attack of your Charizard. That's the idea. So you also have a Dusclops line as well. Or a Dusclops in there. You've got the stage 1. So you can also use Curse Blast if you want to put just, say, 5 damage counters in there as well. That's also a potential option. Fezandipiti for Flip the Script, and of course, interestingly, one Klefki for Mischievous Look. Oh, sorry, Mischievous Lock even. So yeah, it's a really good Pokemon to open up with. It's if it's in the active spot, then so both you and your opponents cannot use basic Pokemon's abilities. So that's why that's in there. Be careful because of course you do also rely on Fan Rotom, so you have to kind of play around that just a little bit. But that is the Pokemon line. So that's kind of what was being played. So let's go to the trainer line, because the trainer line is very interesting. And again, when I kind of looked at the list, it just made sense basically. So for Dawn, which is very, very heavy on Dawn here, but also just really, really good cards. So search your deck for a basic Pokemon, stage 1 and a stage 2. So of course, if you have you can get a Terapagos out, you can also get a Noctowl out, and you can get, for instance, I don't know, maybe a Pidgeot or a Charizard. And combine that with the fact that you're playing 4 Rare Candy as well, which is very heavy. So we can utilize things like like Charizard, or just get Charizard out quicker, get Pidgeot out quicker. And it's not really a drawback, to be honest, because I think if you've got your Hoothoot out and you've got a Terra Pokemon in play, you just put down Noctowl and you can get any item card or any trainer card you want. So it really kind of lessens the significance of having to use a support card like Iono or something like that, or even, I don't know, Research or Lilies, for example. So that's kind of the idea, just to get your Noctowls down, and or even just get a, you can also get a Noctowl and a Pidgeot, for instance, and the Noctowl search can search out for, I don't know, the Rare Candy to get the Pidgeot, and then the Pidgeot to help you set your Charizards up. So there's so many like different plays that you can play with that. So for very, very strong. So I do really like this card in this deck, having played it a couple of times. So 2 Iono, still very, very good, mostly for hand disruption. If your opponent in the later game has got a lot of cards, you can put them down. 2 bosses, 1 Briar. So if your opponent has 2 prize cards remaining, then yeah. So any Pokemon knocked out by Terra Pokemon, you take 1 more prize card. So yeah. So that's kind of the idea. So yeah, this is very, very situational, as it does say here. Yeah, you can only use this card if your opponent has exactly 2 prize cards remaining. So that's kind of the idea behind that. But otherwise, yeah, so 4 Buddy-Buddies, 4 Nest Balls, only 1 Ultra Ball, and kind of makes sense because you're running 4 Dawn here. So only 1 Ultra Ball there, you can search it out with Noctowl and then search something out. And also there's a lot of cards in here you don't really want to ditch as well, so that's why the significance or the emphasis, so to say, on Ultra Ball is not so high. So Super Rod, Night Stretcher, 1 of each. 2 Area Zero, again, very, very good not to utilize, especially with Terapagos. And if they remove it, you just get rid of things that you don't need, like Fan Rotoms. And the A-spec of choice is Prime Catcher. So not really playing too many switching cards, and it also acts as like another bosses as well, so you can bring things up, knock it out. That's the idea. But if we go over to the energy line, so 5 Fire, which is quite low, but you can just also recycle them with Super Rod as well. But 2 Jet Energy in there as well. So Jet Energy helps you kind of maneuver your Pokemon a little bit, and also utilizes, kind of goes very well with Terapagos. If you attach it to Terapagos, you can move something into the active spot, or even play it on a Charizard if you want to, just to kind of help manipulate your Pokemon, or try and shift around your Pokemon depending. But that's the idea. So you have Jet Energy for the versatility there, and yeah, and the Prime Catcher as well to help you switch out as well. That's the idea behind that. But yeah, only 5 Fire Energy in there, so quite low. So you're gonna have to keep that in mind when kind of like deck searching and going through your deck and trying to use things like Infernal Rain, for example. But yeah, really, really strong deck. I played it a little bit online, tested it, and yeah, I really, really like the engine, the Noctowl engine on top of the Pidgeot as well. And then that kind of, you know, being the starting point to getting your Charizard out and setting up that way. So it's just a really, really strong deck. Very, very consistent from what I've played online so far. But anyway, that is the theory behind the deck. Let's go play a game with it and see how it plays out in practice. Okay, so we can choose. They lost the coin flip. Let's go first. So we run a very, very heavy line of things like Fan Rotom, things. That's a pretty good setup, to be honest. There we go. So yeah, we run a very heavy line of buddies, Nest Ball, so we definitely want to be going first, that's for sure. So let's see what our opponent opens up with, although they've got some Mega Charizard X sleeves there, maybe that's an indicator. Yes, we'll draw one. Cool. So yeah, let's see. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh nice, we got a Charizard, cool. So let's fan call. Let's grab there, yeah. So to really get ourselves moving next turn, we really need to get the Terapagos down there. So I would have liked to have ideally, maybe holding back a Charmander would have been a good idea. Well, maybe not, I don't know, maybe the Pidgey. So we want to make sure the next time we're hitting a Charizard. So in order to do that, we want to, I think benching 2 Charmander is the right play here. And once we get Area 0, we can maximize, get some more Pokemon onto the bench. So we can choose really as well what we want to lead with, depending. So 8 Pokemon on the bench, that's 369, so that's 8 times 3, it's 210. So come to 8 Pokemon on the bench, yep. So 8, 16, 20, oh sorry, 210, 240. 240 we can do, which is what we're going to be hitting with Terapagos if we max out our bench. Or alternatively, we can just go down the route of using Charizard. So it is worth keeping in mind that, yeah, Goldingo is not weak to, well, it's weak to fire, but we are not fire. Fire. Terapagos, okay. Well, maybe we leave a Terapagos then. Maybe that's the play. Maybe that's the play. Cool. Interesting they'd bring that to the active spot. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, so let's so we've got Terapagos play. Okay, cool. Rare Candy into Zard, Dawn Rare Candy. We've got Rare Candy to Pidgeot, maybe. Yeah, alright. So let's get the Noctowl down. Yes, Jewel Seeker. Should we get double Rare Candy maybe? Is that the play here? Rare Candy. Maybe that's the... Because then we go into Charizard. We can also Dawn into Pidgeot as well. I think we're pretty set up after that, so cool. Or maybe Area 0. Do we need some more bench space? I don't know. Let's get double Rare Candy. Why not? So, cool. Let's go into Charizard there. Inferno Rain, yes. Let's use Inferno Rain. 1, 2, 3. There we go. That should be enough. Cool. We're hitting there 150. That's knockout. That's good. And can evolve into Charmeleon there. So we're ready to go for next turn. We just need the Charizard there, and we can get a Dawn. So Dawn, we'll grab ourselves a Pidgeot. Stage 1. Do we need a stage 1? I guess we can. Yeah. Don't really. I guess another Noctowl there. And yeah, I don't know. What else do we need here? We're gonna get some Hootoots down. All right, we'll get another Hoothoot. Why not? And what we'll do here is we'll candy into Pidgeot. There we go. And Pidgeot. What we can do with that is push a little bit with Pidgeot there. We can get Area 0. Predominantly, just to... we don't need to really bump up the attack here, but what we are trying to do is to capitalize on having some Noctowls for next turn. That's a pretty solid setup, 240 there. There we go. And of course, if this does get knocked out, then we'll concede 2 prize cards, but that also means that we'll be able to knock out or do more damage, so to say. So, let's see. So Noctowl, we've got Noctowl there. We can quick search with Pidgeot. This is a pretty explosive start, to be honest. Not bad, not bad. So yeah, we need a, here we go, Goldingo. So we're doing, how much are we doing right now? So we're doing 210. 210. We can see 2 prize cards. That goes up. I mean, if they knock out this Terapagos, which it looks like they will, 210, then that's into... sorry, actually, we're not doing 210, we're still doing 180 at the moment. We're not conceded a prize card, but that would 210, 240. Okay. 240. So maybe a play here is we can see the knockout with Terapagos if they get the knockout. Then what we do is we try and prioritize that Dusknoir, knock out something on the bench, bump up the attack a little bit more, and then we knock out the active. Maybe that could be the play. If, of course, they get the knockout. We don't know if they've got the knockout yet. But if not, then yeah. Let's see. So yeah, take 2 prize cards, 240. Then we can get the Dusknoir up by an extra. We can use Curse Blast, knock out something on the bench, and bump this up a little bit more. So we get the knockout on the bench. That's 1 prize card, takes us down to 4. An EX knockout takes us down to 2 prize cards. Then we just need another EX to knock out after that. That Fezandipiti sitting there, we can use Noctowl as well, or even Pidgeot just to get Counter Catcher. So I already see the prize map a little bit here, how this is going to pan out, but let's see. Let us see. Cool. All right, going for Superior, which kind of hoping they do get knockout here, because I think this puts us very much in our favor. Bosses. Interesting. Okay, what are you bossing? Pidgeot. Oh, okay, interesting. Well, we have Super Rod. We can also just stick that back in as well. Interesting. Actually, we have a 2-2 line of Pidgeot anyway, so we can get it back. It's no big deal. Cool. All right. Well, that's a bit. Well, actually, it's not too detrimental. So let's stick. We actually do still need the energy as well. So we've got Terapagos. There's 240. That's not knockout. That can be knockout on the Fezandipiti there. So let's just put Charizard. So let's see. Duskull. All right. So we need to stick that down. Yes. What we could do, we can get a Dawn maybe. And we also need, what do we need? We need energy, and then we need candy as well, right? But that's the last candy though. The other one is prize. I believe we've used 2 already. That's the last one is prize. We might draw it. Let's see. Cool. Let's go back. Yeah, Dawn, that will get us another Noctowl. Then we stick the Noctowl there. We can also get Charizard with that. That will give us the energy. Cool. Nice. I think that's okay. So let's stick that there. And let's use Curse Blast. What do we want to knock out? I guess the Lunatone maybe. It's probably the obvious choice here. So let's knock out the Lunatone. Stick 130 over here. Knock that out. There we go. So our opponent takes a prize card. We take a prize card. There we go. Take 1. Nice. Oh, cool. Area 0. Nice. Okay, so we have yeah. So we can take 2 prizes. That's 2. They can't win next turn, and then we just knock out something next turn. I think that's the idea there. So yeah. So we've got that. We just need a Dawn then, and we'll grab a Charizard. We will grab a. We don't need that. We'll grab a Noctowl, and I guess we can also get Fezandipiti there as well. We also got a Pidgey in there as well. Cool. Nice. So what we can do though is we can use that, grab 1 Pidgey on the bench, try and set that up for another turn. Let's Fezandipiti on the bench, Charizard there for Infernal Rain. Yes. 1, 2. We'll take them both. 1 there and 1 on the bench. We can use Flip the Script. Very good. Nice. Bosses next turn, knock out the Fezandipiti. We also have Noctowl in hand for anything we need. Cool. Very good. 270, that's knockout on Goldengo. Let's see now if we get a rare candy from prizes. If we do, then we also have options of getting Pidgeot out as well. Let's see, do we get rare candy? We do. Nice. This is going extremely well. I'm very surprised. Well, actually, I'm not very surprised. It's a good deck. It won. So, yeah, but this is going very, very well. I do like it. So, we know that they can't win on this turn. But we do know that we can win on the next turn. That is something that is for sure ski. So, let's see. It comes down to what supporter card they play. If they play Iono, that's going to mess us up a little bit. Subject to what we draw. If they play bosses, then that could, depending, I don't know. But 240, even if we knock out one Pokemon here, and as long as Area 0 stays in play, 240 becomes 210. That's still knockout on this Fezandipiti here. So we just need, all we need basically is Counter Catcher. With Noctowl into Hoothoot, that would give us a Counter Catcher. I mean, or we just bosses and knock it out as well. That's also another play. Several different options here. But again, comes down to what do they, what support card do they play? That's the question. If it's a Lilies, for instance, then I think we've got game. Okay, well then I think that's game. Cypher Maniac's code breaking. That is, I believe, game then for us. I don't know what really they can do here. Counter Catcher maybe, but even with Counter Catcher, I believe that is GG. Coin bonus. So next, even if they get the knockout, we can just lead with Terapagos, bosses up that Fezandipiti knockout, and that's game. Could also Super, I mean, there are so many different ways that we could go around this. Super Rod some Fire Energy back in. Draw a Fire Energy somehow. Oh, there we go, they just conceded. Okay, very, very good. So relatively short game, but it just shows you how aggressive this deck is and how well it's built, I think. I think Dawn is just such a good card in this deck, just because of you can search out your Noctowls and you search out your Charizards and your Pidgeots, and with 4 candy in there, I think it's just a really, really solid deck. So really, really good. But you let me know what you think of the list. I'll put it in the description box below and you guys can go check it out if you want to, and tell me if there's anything in the list that you would change. But yeah, if you do like this type of content and you want to see some more content related to the Pokemon Trading Card Game, as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button and, of course, like this video. That would be amazing. Otherwise, yeah, I'll post some more videos later on this week, probably from the regional championships from last weekend at Stuttgart. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you all in the next one.